If you do an ad and you send a direct mail campaign, you're tracking and it's just so simple, right?
Transactional.
But it may even be bad results, but maybe it makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're taking action. I think, the content marketing, personal brand, whatever, it's such a long road. And there's and like you said, there's not that many hacks. You can definitely learn from people like yourself, but it just takes putting in time and not shortcutting it. But what I wanted to circle back to is kind of what you talked about, the sale of rental properties and stuff like that. Just the thought about how your team's grown, right? So to think that, your team has grown significantly, I'm assuming, because look, your income's grown significantly, but now you hit a skid where you've been doing this stuff for years, right? You've been doing the delayed gratification. Maybe you're not seeing results. You're putting up a bad video. You're removing your content. Maybe it reaches somebody, but you're kind of building this thing and this thing and this thing. And then you hit a skid where now you're in a market that's super explosive. And now you have 23 team members instead of whatever it was before. And now you're able to take advantage of that where you couldn't have just gotten to this market right now and said, hey, I got to go from 10 people to 23 people. Maybe it's from a cash flow perspective. Maybe it's just the effort and the time that it takes to bring somebody in and train them. And maybe I'm making assumptions, but I would love to have you talk about what that's meant to your business from doing this stuff when you don't necessarily know when that time comes to be in a position where you can actually take market share. You can actually take some railroads, as we'd call it.
Yeah, dude, that's a huge thing that you just brought up, because you talk about, rates dropped. And you made a bunch of money, you're lucky. No, you have to be in a position to get lucky, right? You can't capture a bunch of business when the market hits its stride if you don't have the team and the system in place.
Right.
So people are like, why waste all week building your CRM? I don't know. I might need it in the future. What the fuck happened? COVID comes around. Rates dropped to 2%. Hey, it's pretty cool having a CRM, huh? Where shit just rolls in and is automated and shit, and you can follow up on everything and nothing falls through the cracks. Now all of a sudden, that thing that was not really that important becomes worth millions of dollars in revenues, right? Or that team, right? So you got to build it before you need it, right? You got to put this shit in first, and it's still viable. Like even in a flat market, or whatever, if you guys are building your teams, having more people is just going to result in more business. But if you ever hit a thing where like a particular ad campaign takes off, you got to have the infrastructure in place to handle that exponential growth.
Right.
And that's got to be the people and the system. So I think that's huge. Putting in the work. Like, do we really need to add some more salespeople right now? No, we're doing pretty good. I'm good. The same reason why you guys are working out in the morning. I see you guys posting every morning. Where do you work out, by the way? Is that in somebody's driveway or something?
That's at my
it's
house.
like
These
in the
savages,
dirt. You guys are raw, man.
These savages come over early in the morning.
Come over to eat.
But you know what I mean? You're putting in the work. If I go to the gym, nobody's there at 7 a.m. It's the same kind of thing. You're putting in, and you just setting yourself up for the future. So this is with hiring. It's the same thing. Like, you may not need right now more salespeople, but if you just kind of put in that work of like, okay, we're just kind of always in the mode of growing the team.
Yes.
We may not need to. I'm not in a dire need to hire more salespeople, but just kind of put yourself in there. And then it just kind of keeps growing. And it's still great, even if you don't, if it's not a time when you need all these people. But if you ever hit a moment where like it does, you're gonna be just stoked that you have this infrastructure already in place.